going over the line.
And this is a step beyond as well.
Whether it's a player or a coach or something, slagging off referees, not just saying they didn't think they had the rub of the green, but actively saying they were shit.
Yeah.
Or whether it's fans doing this, they're all part of the same problem. This is a bigger issue. This is the worst end of the same problem.
Of course it is.
But we've got to cut it all out, the whole gamut of it.
Yeah.
All should be cut out. And anyone who wants to behave like this needs to be really taught a lesson about that's not what rugby league is, that's not what we want our sport to be.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Right, let's get off the news then, and let's take a look back now at round 3 of the Super 8s. Right, so to round 3 of the Super 8s then, and what better place to start than Weldon Road, Mark, where it was Castleford 45, Wakefield 20 on Thursday evening, played out in front of 11,235, refereed by one Mr. James Child, and one of that 11,235 was Rob Ordish. Let's get him on the phone and hear what Fatboy Rob has to say. Okay, so, as is our wont from time to time, we've invited one of our fan listeners onto the show to, I don't want to say gloat about their victory, but to give us their feedback. So, it's a real pleasure for us to be able to introduce you to the man that you might all know as Fatboy Rob, but we know him as Rob Ordish. He's our nominal representative of Castleford Tigers for the evening. So, Rob, welcome to the Super League pod. How are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. So we'll get right to it, Rob. Castleford Tigers are we'll call them minor premiers, shall we? How does it feel? What does it mean to you to have seen your team achieve this?
Well, I prefer to call us champions, but it means absolutely everything. If you think 10 years ago we were in the Championship, 3 years ago, if you believe the rumours, we almost went out of business when we sold Gaz Clark. We've had Jack Fulton and his family propping us up for a number of years, and it just goes to show what you can do with a decent coach and a bit of investment in the team, really.
Absolutely, and that investment in the team has led to a very easy to watch style of rugby league being played down at Castleford. That must have really made the season worthwhile from another point of view, in that you've won it with style as well, haven't you? Or you finished top of the pile with some real style, haven't you?
Yeah, we have this, especially this season. I mean, we looked like we might do it last season, but then we just had so many injuries early on. But this season especially, even on Thursday night, when I don't think we were at its best on Thursday night, but you looked up at the scoreboard and we had 45 points on the chart. So
that first 20 minutes of the second half, I didn't know what had happened. It felt like it was a close game still after you'd got like 20 points ahead.
Yeah, well, we've done that all season. We've scored back-to-back tries. I think St Helens in the Cup when I think we scored 4 on the bounce, and that's really started right at the very beginning, Warrington away. And at the time, we didn't really know how shit Warrington were going to be. But when we scored straight from the kick-off there, and I remember turning and saying to my mates, "Is this? We've got a decent side here," and we've just carried on. But mainly we've tightened up the defence as well this season, so it's not all been about attack. I think we've got the best defence in the league as well.
Yeah, there's no doubting that you're winners on both sides of the ball, and it's down to some of the personnel. Who do you think have been the standout? I mean, it's probably quite tough to pick one or two out from that group of players, but to your mind, Rob, who have been the standout contributors to your success this season?
Well, obviously Luke Gale's had another fantastic season, but I think Benny Roberts. I think he slides under the radar quite a lot. And then you look at Paul McShane, who, although I think the hookers for England, he probably wouldn't be the best. I certainly think he's had the best season. He just performs week in, week out. And then you look at players like Junior Moores. We really did miss him when he were out. And Jesse Senilafeo, the forward pack. I heard Lee Crooks on another podcast say that he thinks that his team in 1994 probably had a better forward pack, but I'm not sure I agree with him. I think
of course he said that.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, all round, there's not one player I would change out of that team, if I'm completely honest, including players like Jay Hitchcock and Monaghan Other players that have sort of came in.
Springer, they've all had their role to play. This year.
Yeah. Matt Cook, they've all played well.
I think that's one of the key things is that when the squad players have come in, they've fitted in relatively seamlessly, and they've done their part, haven't they? So there's never really been that let up because of injuries, has there?
No, to be fair, we've been quite lucky with injuries. We've not had a lot of players out at the same time, but we have had us injuries throughout the season. But when we've had, when you lose a player like Greg Eden that scored 34 tries, and you get Jai Hitchcock comes in, who's arguably a better defensive player, then you know you're not going to go far wrong.
And you had Two Lines Tom came in for a couple of games and was splashy as well, weren't he? Tom Holmes.
Oh
yeah. You could tell straight away that was chip paint work.
Fair enough. We'll move on fairly swiftly. So, what was the atmosphere? Talk us through how it was on Thursday night then, because that must have been a special atmosphere down Lane, mustn't it?
Yeah, well, it was. I mean, we've had a few packed houses this week and this season, and I think Wakefield they brought quite a lot of fans as well. You probably couldn't see it, but we tend to stand at the end at Cass Kickter. So in the second half, we stood with Wakefield fans, and it was. I mean, when Webster went over in the first half, I honestly thought the roof were going to come off the Weldon Road end. It was just great.
Could have done, couldn't it?
Well, yeah. But it's been. I mean, to be fair, I think that Weldon Road and Headingley are amongst the. I think they're better for rugby league. I know that we're moving towards all-seater stadiums and stuff like that, but I think how close we are to the pitch and the old metal roofs, the way it echoes the sound out. But yeah, Thursday night was special, and even the Wakefield fans were very gracious. A lot of them stayed around to watch us get the shield. I'm going to say trophy.
I was going to say you almost called it the Hubcap, but no, fair enough, the trophy.
Yeah.
Very good. So, the season isn't over quite yet. You've got your hands on a first piece of silverware. What's it going to take for you to go all the way and pick up that grand final trophy in October then?
Well, I mean, we've got a 1-in-4 chance, haven't we? We've got a home tie, so you'd like to think we'd be favourites to get to the final. We've beaten every team that we've played so far at least once. There's only Saints and Hull that have beaten us that we'll possibly be playing in there. So I think we've got a good chance. I think we've got a good chance. But at the end of the day, it is cup football, isn't it? People say that we bottled it in the Challenge Cup against Hull FC, but in reality, Hull FC played very, very well that day, and we did have a couple of players that were off the game a little bit. But if I were a Hull FC fan, I'd be disappointed with the amount of press that we got as bottling it compared to how little press they got for just beating us on the day. They played very, very well. The only team that's really beaten us comprehensively this season, St Helens at home a couple of weeks ago, where they got in his faces. They sort of tied up that left edge, and we couldn't get going. So I'd say we're favourites. Not counting it. But who knows? We've never really been in that situation, not for a number of years. In terms of the end of season playoffs, I'd like to think we can go and do it. But do you know what? If we don't, then it's still been a fantastic season. It's been an absolutely fantastic season.
It has indeed, and I for one hope you do make it to the final. I'd love to see a different team lifting the trophy from my point of view. I know Mark probably has a slightly different opinion based on where Wigan finish. But before I let you go, Rob, it's Challenge Cup final this weekend, and you alluded to the game where you guys got beaten by Hull quite comprehensively. Well, had a bit of a terrible time this weekend where Wigan did very well against Salford. Have you got a prediction for us for the cup final? Who's going to come out on top?
I think LFC is going to win by 6.
There you go. All FC by 6. You heard it here almost first. Right, well listen, Rob, congratulations again. Enjoy your minor premiership. I hope you can convert it into grand final glory, and thank you very much for joining us on the Super League pod.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, great stuff there from Rob. So we will go into the fan reviews we got on the Google form now, and Paul O'Brien starts with, well played Castleford, the best team in Super League this year, really pleased for all the Super League podcast fans.
There you go. Brian Davies got in touch to say, fair to say that Chelsea playing Mason, Kate and Brown out of position in the centres against Jake Webster wasn't the greatest decision he's ever made. Clearly felt dropping him against Leeds wasn't punishment enough. Wakey were blunt in attack without a hooker. Some of the individual errors were shocking. shocking, and we fell away badly when England and Kermond clashed heads and had to leave the field. Hey-ho.
Yeah, MCB didn't have his greatest game, particularly early doors.
Yeah.
Ollie Smith, one of our cast fans, said, "Wow, what a fantastic achievement this is for the club. So proud of everyone involved. Never thought I'd see this day 11 years ago when I was a young lad at Survival Saturday. Need to enjoy the moment and then go on to win at Old Trafford. Might actually get some national media coverage then. Also, well done to the under-19s for reaching the final. The future is looking bright. Come on, you forward." Yeah, they beat the Hull City of Hull Academy on Friday night, and Wigan under-19s disposed of the Catalan Dragons under-19s on Sunday afternoon, so it will be a Cass Wigan final in 2 weeks' time.
I wonder if that's prescient in any way. Okay, Tyler Cass fan got in touch and said the deck chair is out early. Good to get the Shield sorted after just 3 games of the Super 8s. Took us a while to gain control of this game. Wakey came determined to poop on our party but ended up constipated. Strength on the bench was probably the difference between the two teams.
Ethan O'Gorman recovered from his hangover to say, "For the first time in 12 years of being a Cass fan, Champione. 91 years of hurt, 2 relegations, it proves the system works. Full credit to Wakefield and best of luck for the rest of the season. Good to see Fatboy Rob at the game too."
There you go. Yeah, I believe they shared a couple of quiet sherbets together before the celebrations, from what I understand. Okay, Soap Opera for Men got in touch and said, "What is this League Leaders Shield? We are champions bullshit. The big prize we all started playing for in February, when we all knew the parameters and the league structure, was the grand final at Old Trafford. Same as every other fucking year. Because it doesn't fit the Inbreeders fairy tale ending, we need a rule change. Fuck off." Fair play. Well, I'm not entirely sure you've made your point firmly enough there, so proper for them, but fair play.
Paul Ludo Lewis, we finished with, he said, "Great performance and season overall from Cass. Sadly though, as long as there's a grand final, then the league leadership will always be a joke trophy to fans of the clubs that don't win it. I mean, Wire have won it twice, yet no one calls them champs, and they still get always your year shouts. Having said that, I fully expect them to go in and win at Old Trafford. I hope they do too."
There you go. Yeah, I think Castleford are pretty much everyone's second favourite team, really, aren't they? Perhaps yours.
Well, I don't have a second favourite team in Super League, but I enjoy watching the Tigers for the most part this year. And this was another occasion where they were good to watch.
It was the typical Castleford story. There was a 20-minute period where they got everything, where they got their business done, and that was the game put to bed, really, wasn't it? At the start of in the early part of the second half.
Well, I mean, the first half ended 18-10 to Cass, and I didn't necessarily think they were that much better. There was just I think there was just the odd more error probably in their own end of the field from the Wakey side that cost them there. And I was all geared up for a huge second half, really, and what happened was Cass blew them away.
That's what they do. I'm not surprised by it anymore.
There was a spell where Roberts, McMeekan and Webster were just massively unstoppable.
Yeah.
As a trio. So if it's not hitting you down the left with Eden strolling in untouched, Gale's pass for his try, phenomenal. If it's not Zach Hardacre popping up, if it's not one of the forwards, Senny Lafayette or something like that, powering over the middle, it's the right edge.
Yeah.
Firing on all cylinders, clicking, perfect little plays. And then when they got the bounces of the ball as well, I mean, the game went away from Wakefield with the intercept attempt that fell in the path of Webster just after Eden's try at the other side of the field, and then that's where the game fell away, I suppose. But yeah, great stuff from Cass in that period after that happened.
Yeah, one of Webster's tries was a bit of a gimme, but it's great to see because he's one of the I say unsung. I think we're fairly big fans of Jake Webster. I know I am, particularly his renaissance over the last 2 or 3 years. But one of the less highlighted names of that Castleford side, it was actually a very good season for him. And he's exhibiting real professionalism to keep himself fit and healthy at the age that he's at, getting over for 4 tries, which is a tremendous return for him as well, and will do his confidence no harm. And again, Castleford scoring points from all over the field, 2 from Hardacre, McMeeting from the front row, from the pack getting in on the action, Webster on the other side of things, and Gale just marshalling him around the pitch and doing what he's done so well all season, which is marshal this side and organise this group of players.
Yeah, well, that run from the 50th minute to the 70th minute was just, I mean,
But that's what they do. I'm surprised when Castleford don't have that period in a game these days. That's when they look on the ropes and they look ropey to them and they look like they might be struggling today. They still win games sometimes, but how often